Well, we're in the truck now. Probably gonna do something that I didn't really want to do, but it makes more sense. We're currently heading to the junkyard. It can only mean one thing. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. Well, I did a thing that I said I wasn't gonna do. I had to come out here to the junkyard, and we did it, boys. That's what we're gonna do. Like everybody else, we're gonna stick an LS in it. But kind of got lucky in a way. That's an L33, and you guys know LS motors. It's a 5.3 liter out of a pickup truck. They only made for 3 years. That is an aluminum block, 5.3 liter aluminum heads out of a pickup truck that they made. And yeah, got lucky. They only made it for 3 years, 2005 to 2007. So that's eventually what's going to go in the Camaro. I don't know whether we're going to put it in right away, but it was a deal, so got it, and we're going to try that. So I know everybody else does LS stuff, but we're going to try to do something a little different on that. You know, make it look a little bit more old school, kind of like what I want it to be. And yeah, so not exactly the route that I was thinking I was going to go, but price per horsepower on an LS motor, you just can't beat it. So, but we're gonna get a hold of ICT billet and get their flywheel and adapter to adapt it to the Turbo 350 trans, and that's what we're gonna do. Should be pretty fun, an experience. Well, got it out of the truck and got it on the stand. Now let's take a little better look at it and what kind of gem we actually got. She's a little on the rough side, but what she's got kind of got me excited. So what it is an L33. It's a 5.3 liter, for some of you guys that don't know. The L33 was, I believe, a 2 to 3 year run truck motor. This come out of a 2007, I believe it was 2005 to 2007 they had this motor. It is a truck motor, but it's a aluminum block, aluminum heads, and this one just so happened to come with some pretty good heads on top. Actually, OEM heads. This one came with the $7.99 heads on it. So, that being said, I think we got a pretty good base to start with. Didn't want to go LS direction because everybody does it, but you can't beat the price per horsepower on these things. So we'll see what kind of trouble we get into with it. I already see there's some broken off manifold bolts. Everything was cut out of this, which is fine with me because we're not gonna go OEM wiring harness on this. I believe we're gonna try to find ourselves a Holley Terminator X and go from there. Just makes everything a little cleaner, a little easier, but we're gonna strip this thing down and get it all cleaned up, and hopefully get her ready to swap into netted here. And plan is to not take it apart, but probably gonna end up, at least we're gonna change the intake. For right now, we're gonna have to take the AC off until we get the relocation bracket that has to go move the AC pump up here. We'll have to get a different oil pan. This got the truck oil pan on it, so we'll have to get the lower profile oil pan for it. And yeah, so luckily, you know, the guy at the junkyard, and he took a picture of the odometer and said, hey, if you want a motor, you need to come get this one. So after doing a little bit more research on these LS's, I think I got pretty damn lucky. So got a pretty good price too. So like I said, $7.99 heads, L33. So I thought I was gonna have to go cast iron block, and luckily I found something that closely resembles a LS1 or LS2. I guess this falls more in line with LS2 or an LS6, and except for this is a 5.3, but the heads are close to that. So this L33 came with some of the differences is it's a 5.3, but it's got flat pistons in it. The valves and everything on these are, like I said, a little bit bigger. Let's see some of the other differences. This has only got, these are just single valve springs. They're not dual valve springs, which is fine with me because we planning on doing at least a cam and valve spring upgrade to it. But from what I've heard, it's pretty damn rare. So kind of excited to have it, and hopefully she doesn't turn into a basket case, but we'll see. So see if we're able to track down some parts for this and get this swapped in for next spring, so we can, plan is to have the car back together by next spring so we can at least drive it. So ain't no sense in leaving it in the garage for years and years. Just do something slow at a time. But since we got her stripped down as far as we do with the engine and transmission and subframe out of it, might as well swap it now. So went and got some boxes for some of the bigger parts. Plan is to keep the Turbo 350 trans, at least for now. I know it's a shithole of a trans, but it'd be alright for right now. Be able to ICT billet makes a adapter flywheel for the LS and an adapter for it. So I think we'll adapt that to this motor and just keep it super simple. Like I said, intake, cam, and some valve spring upgrades, and hopefully everything else is good. Do a self-tuning Holley Terminator X on it, and yeah, kind of excited. So that's the plan for right now. Like I said, tentatively we were going to keep the small block, but chose not to. So we'll see where we go for now, and get going on it. But we probably won't touch that for another couple episodes. We're going to work on the firewall here and get that going, get that all cleaned back up, and Haven't touched it here yet, so probably not going to be able to hide this much longer, but we ended up a few months back buying another subframe. So we already got another subframe all cleaned up and painted up, and we're going to bolt that in place, the old one, so we can easily swap parts from side to side. Got a full suspension kit for it. Didn't want to do a whole lot of cutting up, so we ended up going with kind of a relatively, name and good name in the industry, and got everything: control arms, springs, shocks. We're still gonna stay leaf spring in the back. Still gonna stay 10 bolt. I don't know if you guys know this car, but this car has a 10 bolt, but what it is it's a 10 bolt, but it's an 8/8 10 bolt. So Chevy had a 10 bolt, but what it is it's an 8.8 rear rear gear in it. So you can build them to 1,000. I don't think we're gonna need 1,000 built, so we're gonna put a posi in it hopefully and let her rip the way she is for now, and just try to keep this year simple, get ourselves a good base. We got brake upgrades for the whole car, and just gonna keep it simple for this winter. Hopefully it doesn't rabbit hole me and take me down with it. So I mean, I'd love to strap either a turbocharger on this, or what I'd really like to do is do a Whipple, do a supercharger on it. I just love the sound of them. It's just fun. So we're going to try to keep it spunky and keep it kind of simple and enjoy the car. So like I said, kids love it. I love it. Wife loves it. So keep it simple and make it easy. So fueling for these things is very easy on this car. Holley makes a great direct drop-in kit for the tank. I believe their retail is like $375 or whatever it is. I'll only have to run one line up front. It's in tank, pump, regulator, everything. I'll just have to put an inline filter in it and run, -6 up front. And then this motor is a drive-by-wire, but we're going to do away with that. But it is a single port fuel in. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just cut it off. So there was no return on this motor at all, and that's what that Holley makes it easy to do. So we're going to end up doing that. Like I said, keep it simple. Try not to be complicated, and I know I can do things cheaper, but when I can buy a whole harness and ECU and everything to plug right in and enjoy it, just makes it easier. Same thing with the pump. I could probably go just an inline setup and be, with the Corvette, fuel filter regulator, be cheaper on that. But we're gonna do it the cleaner, easier. I don't know if it's easier, but cleaner way. So there's not gonna have to be a external pump on the frame, on the rail back underneath the car. It's not gonna be as loud because it's gonna be in an in tank. I believe we are gonna go with the big one. I believe it's a 355 gallon per hour. Don't quote me on that, but I think we're gonna end up going with that, just in case I decide to put this thing on E85. I do live in corn country, so might as well support the farmers that are around us. So we are gonna hopefully get this thing in there and enjoy it. Like I said, be double the power that come out of it, and the biggest thing is trying to keep the tickets out of my wife's pocket, because she's got the bigger lead foot than I do. So I'll leave it at that. Kind of exciting news. Kind of a rare piece. Excited to find it. Didn't really know too much about LS motors until went and started looking at them, and then, like I said, he told me he had a L33, and got to looking at it and doing some research on it, and found out how rare, and then come to find out it's got the 799 heads on it, which more can you ask for a under $1,000 motor? So not much. So, all right, keep it simple, enjoy it. So with that, I'm gonna leave you guys and do a little montage of it. So, little junkyard dirty ass engine montage. So enjoy.